Hello everyone, and yes, you are indeed looking at a tier list. I made that whole video explaining how the Fire Emblem All-Stars worked, and for its purposes, the Fire Emblem All-Stars is my version of a tier list. It's an official tier list because the main core of the series is having the characters that I like using the most, or the best characters that I've had in my Fire Emblem playthroughs, and make them drive around Formula 1 cars. But today, I decided to go for a much more traditional tier list, and originally I wanted to make a different video. I actually want to talk about why I'm not looking forward to Fortune's Weave, but I realized that video was probably going to get me into a lot of trouble, so I'm gonna go for the tier list instead. Not that the tier list is any less controversial, but you know what I mean. Before we begin with the video, of course, we need to talk about some caveats. Number one, I'm going to cover only the games that I played, so Shadow Dragon, Sacred Stones, Path of Radiance, Fate's Birthright, and Engage. I'm not gonna count Warriors because I will only have to count Liana, and I don't really know how to. I really don't know where to put her, honestly, because that game is not a traditional Fire Emblem game. But outside of that, all the games that I played, this tier list will focus only on the characters that on the games that I played. Second, of course, I'm going to focus only on the characters that I've used the most, and I'm going to use, ironically enough, the Fire Emblem All-Star list as a point of a reference. All of these guys that you're gonna see, like Fry, Jagan, and Drog, and all these guys, these guys are not gonna be counted because I either used them very little or didn't use them at all. So, and the third and final caveat is that, as you know, all the games that I played were done either on normal or easy. So things will look widely different from what you're usually used to seeing from other people's tier lists. To make an example, and this is gonna be a bit of a spoiler here, where is she? Mia over here, this is Path of Radiance Mia, is gonna be in S tier, while in other people's tier lists, she's gonna be either middle of the road or just straight bottom tier, because easy does help out the whole thing of their class being trash in the game. So in the meantime, I'm actually checking out because this list contains almost every single Fire Emblem character up until Fortune's Weave, and I don't know if it also includes shadow characters. Also, my internet is slow, so that's why it's struggling to load some stuff. But no, it does not include. It does include the Tokimura sessions, but I doubt it actually includes shadows. But of course, I'm gonna leave the link to the tier list ones in the description. But anyway, let's get on with the show, and naturally let's start off with Shadow Dragon, which is the most recent game that I played. Okay, for Marth, it goes to A tier. Honestly, I was kind of afraid. Okay, I did play Shadow Dragon before, as you saw from the save file during the playthrough. I did play Shadow Dragon before, and Marth was pretty decent. And honestly, I was actually worried that this time in my actual recorded playthrough, Marth wasn't going to be as good as he was. But turns out he didn't. And don't reason fair, around the middle part of the playthrough, I was worried that I was underusing him, and maybe the guy was eventually going to struggle. But fortunately, that ended up not being the case. It was pretty solid even before getting the falchion and starting absolutely ripping shit apart. So a solid A tier for Marth. Now, for Abel and Cain, both were pretty solid, but Abel was way better than Cain was. In fact, I'm gonna put Abel on A tier and Cain on B tier. And yes, the fact that this guy could actually use Javelin straight right out of the gate did in fact help, but both guys were, and I'm pretty sure I did Abel first as a promoted Abel first, and then Cain. But yeah, Abel did much better than Cain, sorry. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was the guy that had fielded instead of Cain in chapter 23. The famous chapter took me three days to complete. But yeah, solid unit on. They were both solid, but Abel was way better than Cain. And now we're gonna skip Jagan, Gordon, and Drog, and we're gonna go focus with Norn, the waifu that everybody forgets she exists because nobody plays Shadow Dragon on normal difficulty. And I was arguing on putting it on A tier, but I'm going to do something better and say she's S tier. Now, I'm aware that she and Gordon pretty much start roughly the same, and at the end of the day, it's all a factor of who you're going to focus on, the funny 5 points guy or the forgotten waifu. And before I start the playthrough, I want to focus on the forgotten waifu, and yeah. And she ended up working just fine. And the reason why I put her on S tier is primarily because I think only in Path of Radiance in this game I only used one archer. In every other game I used at least 2 archers. In Sacred Stones I had Naomi and Ines. In Fates I even had 3 of them with Takumi, Kiragi, and Kagura after being promoted. But Norn was the only choice for archer, and okay, true, there weren't that many situations where you needed an archer, but the stuff she did pretty damn good, so yeah, she's S tier. She did not make me miss Gordon or George or any other archers or units that use arrows and bows in the slightest. So yeah, Norn to S tier. And now Sida. I'm gonna give her to A tier, but let's say that early part of the game really did not help her. And I honestly did not like the fact that for like a majority of the early game, if she didn't have the wing spear, she couldn't kill anything. Double, absolutely. Kill, no. And I know that's a pitfall of not using the wing spear immediately. That's like a pitfall using like you're hoarding up your most powerful weapons, but I have my way of playing it. So I didn't want to use the wing spear straight away. I want to use like much more weaker weapons because you know God knows how long it'll be before I actually get the stronger stuff. But yeah, but by the time the early game got out of the way and she started actually being a little more consistent with the kills, yeah, she did pretty good. She is the second best flyer that I had, but yeah, the early game was just not very kind to her. So yeah. Ooh, forgot that I completely screwed up. C, D, and E. Okay, I just noticed that I had the tier list completely mislettered, I guess, but yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna skip all the Axe Bros and Castor and Julian, and we go for Lena, and I'm gonna put her in the B tier because, well, she's a healer, and what she had to do, she did. In fact, tiny spoiler: the B tier is probably going to be is very likely going to be the tier where I shove most of the healers. But yeah, Lena, it's a healer. She okay, she had the warp staff. That actually did help me out a lot. But yeah, actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's just put her into A tier. Let's put her into A tier because of the warp. Because the warp staff was a lot more useful than I think about it. But yeah, and also she could actually, after I promoted her, she was able to kill something, which is something I cannot say for another character we're going to get later on. But yeah, Lena, she did, purely because of the warp staff. I'm putting her A tier. And now let's go to Merrick, and I'm going to put him into A tier because he was pretty good straight away, but the thing that actually still not infuriates me, but still kind of what's the term that I didn't enjoy about Merrick is the fact of I ended up wasting a couple of turns on chapter 23 because I gave him Starlight because I thought, oh, it's gotta be stronger, when I could have just given it to Linde and give Starlight to Linde, and she ended, and as we found out later on, she was actually able to double Garneth, the real Garneth. So that was the only real bad part of me using Merrick. And also because, in all fairness, by the end of the game I was using Linda a lot more than Merrick. So yeah, but still, outside of the last couple of chapters, Merrick was pretty good the entire for a majority of the game. So yeah, I'm gonna put Merrick on A tier. And now, of course, Wolf and Sadgar, the two biggest disappointments: Lyland, Rickard, Athena. Athena, she goes to A tier. And honestly, there's not much to say about her. She did her job. She did pretty good. That was a voice crack. She did a really good job. One thing that I didn't like was that she didn't crit as much as I liked her to. Even using Wodao. Okay, you might say that you didn't use Wodaos all that much, but even using stuff like killer weapons, she didn't crit as much as I wanted. She did crit, but again, I would have preferred maybe to crit her a little bit more because, Swordmaster and all that. But outside of that, Athena was pretty solid the entire way through. And actually, I'll be honest, using Athena was kind of a revenge mission attempt at me completely ignoring her on my private New Mystery playthrough, because I ended up ignoring her for a majority of the playthrough. Then I decided to give her a shot in the late chapters, and of course she was completely useless. So yeah, me using her was a bit of a revenge attempt. And chances are that if I'm going to use I'm going to play New Mystery of the Emblem, I'm going to use her too, and Malice, very likely. But yeah, then let's continue on. Then we got Maria, and she goes to C tier because, actually, no, B tier. No, B tier. C tier is a bit too harsh. To B tier. Again, she's a healer, but she did a lot less than Lena. Even when promoting her, she couldn't kill anything, so... Yeah, while Lena had that little bit more, Maria is just run of the mill healer. Oh yeah, Lena actually was fortified, but Maria run of the mill healer. So yeah, nothing else to say. I'd still not abusing her enough to actually promote her, but yeah, nothing much to say. And now let's talk about her big sister in Minerva, and she goes to D tier. Like, yeah, she was such a major disappointment. Like, good God. When I promoted her, when I got her, I was so excited because, oh yeah, she's gonna be like the best fucking thing ever. And by the end of the game, like by the end actually, she ran out of autoclair uses. Yeah, she fell down really quickly. Like, she couldn't kill anything unless it was with silver weapons. Even steel weapons were actually weighing her down, if I remember. She couldn't kill anything. She couldn't double anything. She couldn't dodge for shit. Yeah, I don't want to say she became more of a liability, but she became much more useless than I wanted it and anticipated. And I am not afraid to say that she's easily my worst, the worst of the flyers that I've used. And yeah, I really hope that in New Mystery she can redeem herself. But yeah, Shadow Dragon Minerva, not a good thing. Not a good choice for me. Not a good performance for me. She did more than enough to actually get herself in the All Stars, but that's we're not talking about the All Stars. We're talking about the actual games. So yeah, Minerva, Shadow Dragon Minerva, not great. Linde, A tier as well. Linda, yeah, she took a lot more time than Merrick to get good, but once she did get good, I actually strongly believe that she was actually better than Merrick, outside of the fact that she could actually doubled Garneth in chapter 23. But I think, if I'm correct, I ended up using Linda a lot more than than Merrick, so yeah. Also, I'll be honest here, me playing her in Warriors was also kind of the reasons why I wanted to give her a shot, and thank God I did, because yeah, she ended up being a pretty good unit and pretty good unit. So yeah. Now Media, she's B tier. Media, I mean, she did what she could, and I probably should have given a lot more. Okay, true. I had a choice to make between either make her good and make Est good, and I was dead focused on making all the Y wings good. So maybe I should have given Media a little bit more. Maybe I should have given Media those things those stat boosters that I got, because yeah, she did enough. Yeah, she did enough to not be in C tier or even D tier. But yeah, I would have loved her. I would have loved her to be. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just put it to C tier. I would have loved her to actually be a little bit better. At least not Minister Strength, but at least a little bit faster. Because she would double double things. I mean, I remember no, she couldn't double. She barely could double anything. She could barely double stuff. So, yeah, maybe a little bit faster. Maybe should have been. If she was a little bit faster, maybe it would have been at least to B tier. But no, I'm going to give her to C tier. And if you hear some noise, it's just me playing with my pen. So, yeah, she'll probably stop it because who knows when it's getting annoying. Anyway, now we got to the Y wings, and Pala, she goes to C tier. Now, I did rewatch the Iron Man that Davis G did with Donlot, and Donlot did say, shamefully, she is like the worst of the White Wings in this game, and unfortunately, this went on to be exactly the case. Remember that she was actually getting doubled by the dragons in the final chapter. So, yeah, and it's a really shame, because I do like Pala, not only because I like Alexis Tipton as a voice actress, but also because her design is pretty damn good. Fucking Abel made a mistake in choosing Est, by the way. But, yeah, I really would have wanted her to be pretty good, but no, she ended up being the second worst of the Flyers, and it's a really big shame, because I really wanted it to be good, but she ended up not being good. So yeah, I really hope that new Mister of the Emblem actually she ends up being just as good as her middle sister Katria, which she goes straight to A tier. Not quite S tier, but we're pretty damn close. Okay, true. I had Katria with the whole middle sister is best sister, and I think I succeeded. Like, Catcher was easily the best of the Flyers that I had, so yeah. But also, she was actually pretty damn good. She was really good in my New Mystery playthrough. I mean, I mentioned New Mystery a lot, but that's because most of my picks for going here was based off of that playthrough of New Mystery that I did. Even though, as I stated at the end of the playthrough, yeah, I know. This is the first game that I played with the intention of putting people on the final All-Star list, but even without the All-Star list, I don't think my picks would have changed, because I played New Mister before this game, and the Catcher was one of my best units, so yeah. This was New Mister was influencing me in choosing Catria. Unfortunately, she went on to be pretty good, so yeah, A tier for Catria. As for Est, I don't want to give her A tier, but yeah, you know, screw it, let's just give it A tier. Although, actually, no, a B tier, but she's borderline A. As the, you know, the archetype of shit bases but amazing growths. And I did, of course, try. Of course, the plan, as I stated, the plan was to make all the Y wings good, and I guess I succeeded. Sure, I did end up pumping her full of stab boosters. Stab boosters that probably should have given Media, really, but. I don't care. I had a mission, and I think I succeeded. In fact, she was actually one of my best units in the final chapter. So, yeah, she ended up being pretty damn good. She ended up being not pretty damn good, but well, above expectations, very likely. But yeah, I'm not as good as Katria, but still much better than Pala, and. Yeah, she's middle of the ground for me. And now we got, of course, at least does not count since I used only for one map. And that's the rest of the cast. This new mystery. So let's get on straight to FE8. Erica, A tier, like immediately. Okay, the reason why okay, so I started the Shadow Dragon, the Sacred Stones playthrough with the intention of making Erica my boss killer, because everybody uses Seth for good reason, I know, but for once I want to use Erica as my boss killer, and not only she actually was doing a pretty damn good job, she ended up being a really good unit at the same time. So yeah, I know this is also easy mode kicking in, because she's will be much more lower in other tier lists, but in my tier list she's a straight up A. Not quite as material, because we got more units on as material than there are other units as material on Sacred Stones, but A tier absolutely. And now Seth. Honestly, for Seth, yeah, that's true. Let's just get into S tier. Let's just approve it, and let's just respect everybody's expectations and put Seth into S tier. And really, what else can be said about this guy? I mean, everybody knows he's one of the best units he's one of the best units in the game, one of the best units in Fire Emblem in general. And yeah, not much to say here, so let's continue on. And Vanessa, I want to put her into S tier. Vanessa was easily the best of the flyers. I mean, no shit, she was the one that actually had more time to develop. But I still remember like the dodges she was doing, the clutch dodge she was doing, the critical she was pulling. With, basic weapons, not killer weapons, just basic ass javelins and shit. In the meantime, I had to check how many times we're recording. Oh, 21 minutes already. But yeah, Vanessa was absolutely killing it left and right, and yeah, she was a really good unit on my playthrough. Naomi, she goes to A tier, and yes, before playing Sacred Stones, I was influenced by Gale Shade's simp for her. And I went, okay, fine, let's see what point he had. And, yeah, that guy had a point. Naomi was really damn good, like, no joke. At one point, she was even better than Ines. At one point, in many points, she was better than Ines. But, yeah, really solid unit, and, actually, I was honestly surprised that she did as good as she did, because I honestly thought that Gale Shades got lucky in the playthrough in which she fell in love with Naomi, and I thought it's probably not going to me, but fortunately it did. So there we go. Now Loot, A tier. Honestly, the reason why I ended up losing Loot over Arthur is one-off comment that Actual Lizard made, which, by the way, welcome back. One-off comment that Loot made, the one comment that he made about Loot, they made actually, because they made the transition now. They made about Loot having like a better stat, I remember, than Arthur had. I don't remember which one it was, so I decided to give it a shot, and safe to say, I was not disappointed. So, yeah, Loot, really good, really solid unit. So, yeah, nothing else to say here. Natasha, she goes to B tier, and in all fairness, everybody used me using Natasha was the usual thing, going against the public opinion. The public opinion would just have Molder as, we'll use Molder, not me. I decided to go for the waifu, because, of course, this is what we're talking about at the end of the day. But, yeah, using Natasha was purely because they want to use Molder, and, yeah, she was pretty decent. I don't remember if I actually managed to reach her to the level that she could have been promoted. I don't think she was. But, yeah, she's a healer, and she did the job she was supposed to do, so not much to say here. And now, Ephraim, he goes to A tier, and I know this is a cardinal sin, but I only played Erica mode, and I have no intention of playing Ephraim mode, by the way. And of course, I had not that small, much big of a sample like Erica, but Ephraim, of course, he still did pretty damn. He still did he was pretty damn good. Maybe my opinions would have changed if I actually did both Erica and Ephraim mode, but yeah. For the ones that I played, Ephraim is a very solid A. But yeah. Now, okay, for the B, actually, you know what? Let's just put him to A tier. I'll be honest here, I don't. Okay, so A tier, and me saying that I don't remember much about 4 would be kind of ridiculous, but I did. But if I remember correctly, I managed to promote him, and he was actually doing really good. Really, I was actually what? No, yeah, let's put him to B tier. He was doing relatively solid, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played Sacred Stones, but yeah, I don't remember if I actually promoted him, but I think I did, and he was doing it like a really solid job. But yeah, so yeah, Ford on B tier. Tana, she goes to A tier. Honestly, she was consistently the second best flyer that I had in the team. And at some points she was actually doing better than Vanessa, but Vanessa was consistently really good, while Tana was just consistently good. And that's a little difference, but a difference nonetheless. But yeah, Tana was actually really good in my playthrough. Not enough to actually get herself S tier, but she was pretty decent on my playthrough. La Rochelle, B tier. I would have loved to actually get her from the next promoter, but unfortunately that ended up being the case. So to B tier she goes because healer and stuff. Honestly, I would have loved it. The thing I honestly would have loved to see her to actually see in live her supports with Ephraim, because if you didn't guess it already, I shipped those two guys. But you can blame the fact that GPA supports are like stupidly grindy, and I'm not a fan of that. So yeah, she goes to B tier, and it's a shame that I wasn't able to promote her, to reach the level to promote her. But yeah, now Marisa, she goes to A tier. Okay, I'll be honest, this was also influenced by another guy, that being Davis G. Now, I'm aware that she's Joshua but worse, but I still just have to give it a shot, because I remember, oh god, it was Davis G that did an Iron Man of the Sacred Stones, and Maurice ended up being really good all of a sudden, so I decided, you know what, let's just give it a shot, and honestly, I was not disappointed. I was really happy with me picking Marisa. Let's just say she was actually a genuine surprise. Marisa was. So yeah, for all those reasons, plus the fact that she was a big surprise, she goes to A tier. And if I remember correctly, Shankatra shared the same voice actress in Connor Callie. Could be wrong, but I'm going to check that one out. I'm pretty sure they share the same voice actress. Marisa, Fire Emblem. I'm pretty sure they share the same voice actress. And yeah, they do. Catherine and Marisa share the same voice actress. So yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that's Marisa A tier, because it was really a solid surprise. Ines, I'm gonna say A tier, but he was much more worse than Nami was, which is apparently the same feeling that people in Japan have. Like, Nami is much better than Ines, but Ines was pretty good in his own right, and yeah, not much to say here. Ines was pretty good, so yeah. Nami was way better, but Ines was absolutely nothing to scoff at, so yeah, not many things to say here. As for Mur, S tier. Like, this little fucking kid was absolutely smashing shit left and right. Like, I was genuinely shocked by just how just much damage this little girl was doing. Like, holy piss biscuits. Yeah, I am genuinely surprised by just how good she was. But yeah, nothing much to say here. Mayor absolutely S tier. She absolutely deserved it. She's not on the All Stars, but I could potentially add her. I'm assuming I could convince Benini of number one, of course, grow her ass, and number two, if I could convince Benini of just taking away her wings, because you know, since I shoved it from the one cards, I kind of need to make them humans, so the dragon wings will have to go. But yeah. Actually, you know what? I should probably just add her in the All Stars, but I'm gonna do that later once the record is done. For Cyrene, B tier. She is the worst of the she's the worst of the flyers that I had. Regardless of that, she was actually pretty solid. She did her job, and I never I ended up never being frustrated with her. So yeah, not much to say here. So yeah, that's all the Sacred Stone characters that I played. And now let's get on with Raiden Dawn, and Path for Raiden, sorry, and Ike, A tier. The bad thing about Ike is the fact that you need to get... The bad thing about Ike is the fact that this guy is heavily RNG dependent. And, well, it's fine, everybody is, but what I'm talking about is that because of the Black Knight boss battle, you need Ike to level up strength immediately. Otherwise, you might as well not even bother, or have to be extremely lucky with Ether triggering. In my case, that ended up not being the case, so I ended up just skipping the whole battle. I mean, I had the intention of skipping it anyway, but I still decided to give it a shot, because what if I ended up fluking it? But I didn't fluke it, I just get out of there. But yeah, another bad thing is the fact that because his promotion is story mandated, he ended up getting a lot more XP than maybe could have gone to other people. But maybe like one thing I got not Reese. Maybe could have got some experience could have gone to other people. Not that it matters since the bonus XP is, I think, an easy mode gives you a shit ton of bonus XP. But yeah, the only bad thing about Ike is the fact that number one, you need to level up strength. You need to get strength levels immediately, and the fact that because he promotes to Lord for plot, he ends up being a XP stealer. And I know somebody could say, then just don't use him. But how the fuck can I use him? This guy is extremely good regardless. So yeah. Anyway, next up we got Reese, B tier. Actually, it turns out that I did have enough levels to actually promote him, at least promote him through Master Seal. But because Path of Radiance, I really don't have this thing of you can just they made Master Seals useless, because if you reach level 20 with any of the characters, they promote automatically. I ended up not using it, but yeah, he was the guy that I probably. I don't remember actually what his magic stat was by the end of the game, but yeah, I probably should have just ignored that thing, the thing of the automatic level 20, and just promoted his ass, but I didn't, and honestly, I feel like I ended up wasting a big opportunity. Maybe I'll get the opportunity once we play Raiden Dawn, but who knows? I mean, who knows? Like the Dawn Brigade is only at like one healer, so chances are I'm actually have to use it anyway. But yeah, B tier for Reese. Titania, S tier. Nothing else to say. There's really nothing else to say. Everybody knows just how busted this fucking woman is. She cleared, I think it was chapter 6, chapter 7, all by, it was the, oh god. It was the chapter that Engage used as the Emblem battle, and yeah, she pretty much cleared shit all on her own, and yeah, there's really nothing much to say here. In the meantime, I should check one thing real quick. Okay, yeah, that's the career mode video from 2014. Yes, I'm finally uploading video on the second channel again, but yeah. Anyway, now Mia, as teased, S tier, and yeah, she ended up being arguably even better than I thought, because I was stuck with the whole thing of, oh, Mia is bad, but I'm gonna still give her a shot because it's funny, and she ended up being the second unit, the second best unit, or at least the unit with the second most kills out of all the playthrough for me, because I did watch the credits of Path of Radiance, and she was like the second one or the third one. She was in the top 3, and yeah, she was a genuine surprise, and. And yeah, apparently Renadon Mia is good right for get-go, and I cannot wait to actually use her again. And also, another thing, her support with Reese, super fucking adorable. Like, it's super wholesome. Yes, I ship those too, so yeah. Her support with Reese, really adorable. Like, no questions there. Big fucking shame that Renadon just decided to fall back to, I mean, let me check, okay, half an hour. It's a big shame that Renadon decided to just fall back to like generic stuff, because I really would have loved them. Because I really would have loved to see what would have happened in a fully developed support combo. Who knows? Maybe with a Renadon remake they could do it, but who knows? I mean, we still don't know what the next game is going to be after. We still don't know what the next game is going to be after Fortune's Weave. In terms of remake. Fuck, I don't know, they could just remake Awakening for all I know, but yeah. Anyway. Okay, Ilyana, B tier. The problem with her is the fact that she can get speed. Now, yes, I know, her speed growth is trash, but still, I still hope that she would have been, I would have been lucky enough to actually get speed levels. Even with bonus XP, I mean, she was like one of the 3 units ended up jumping bonus XP to level cap her, and they could barely get any speed level, and of course I don't have any speed wings because I'm pretty sure I used them other people. I think I ended up using speed wings on Mia. I mean I didn't. I mean I ended up giving her like some bonus XP as well, but yeah. I actually think about it. I actually gave a lot of bonus XP to Marcy, I think. But yeah, I probably should have given a little bit more speed wings when I got them. But regardless, she did enough of a job. And yes, she was part of a challenge that I gave to myself. And the challenge being using her instead of Soren. And while I'm aware that using Soren probably won't change all that much, considering that magic in Path of Radiance is terrible, I still decided to give it a shot. And yeah, I cannot put her in A because too slow, but I cannot exactly put her in C either. So yeah. But yeah, and yes, I still am aware that I haven't put anybody on E, and we're gonna be coming into that really close, really shortly. Anyway, Mist, B tier, no questions there. Of course, I ended up not using her enough to actually get promoted to, I think, a Valkyrie, which is like the other thing that people ask to do if you want to fight the Black Knight. But yeah, she's a healer. She did what she did, what she had to do, like Kreese. So yeah, not much to say here. Then we got Marcia, S tier. Like this woman fucks. Like, boy oh boy, like she was easily the best player that I had. This woman just absolutely smashed everything, dodged everything, smashed everything, critted a lot, and I honestly cannot be more happier than Marcin that I'm working out. I fucking love this woman, and yeah, I really hope that Raiden. Actually, I say this, but I'm pretty sure Raiden Dawn kind of nerfed her a little bit, but again, easy mode, shit doesn't work. Shit doesn't work. Works completely different from other difficulties. So who knows? Maybe she ends up being really good. But yeah, Marcia, great unit. I so loved her. I cannot wait to use her again. Then we're going to skip all these guys. Okay. Oh god, shout out to Kieran, the only unit that ended up keeping dead because I screwed up the save state and having to save him what I meant, having to restart the chapter. Yeah, which effectively means that now I have to kill his ass once I have to get Raiden done. That was a voice crack. But yeah. Anyway, everybody's favorite racist in jail. And yeah, I'm gonna put her into B tier. She's the worst of the flyers that I had, but she did a really decent job. She was struggling to by the end of the game. She was actually kind of struggling to double stuff. But the chapter, she was actually really effective. She was really effective. It's just the last couple of chapters that really put a dent in her performance. But outside of that, I did like her. I ended up joining her, and I ended up liking her a lot. So yeah, and this actually makes 2 out of 3 characters that not 2 out of 2 characters that I played that are voiced by Reba Bure. The other one being Ivy. And also, I know that Reba Bure voices Farina in FE7, and I need to ask the question of what is up with Nintendo casting Reba Bure and race? What is up with Nintendo and Intelligent System making racist people be voiced by Reba Bure? Because of course we got Jill, everybody knows it. Then we got Shanna. She was much Marshall, right? Got Farina, who, yeah, not exactly the most civil of people. There's that super conversation that she has with Carla, there where she goes, it's like they go around the fire and chant Ooga Booga, which. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. Which honestly, I am. Honestly, somebody might have probably asked Review to voice her as Farina. To which, by the way, I listened to her voice. I'm going on a tangent, but I don't care. I listened to how how Reba voiced Farina in Heroes, and good lord, that was incredible. Like, she gave it like the stereotypical gold digger voice, and and it's amazing. But yeah, anyway, as we're saying, I honestly would not be surprised if maybe people did ask Reba to voice that line as Farina, but she said no, because it's a line that can be taken extremely out of context, because that can easily be taken out of context. And was, of course, the worst part of the fact that you can even use AI. You can even use AI because yeah, you can even use AI because the actual voice actor is saying it. So I'm not surprised if she actually was asked to say it, but she said no because of any potential issues. But yeah, Jill, B tier, Soren, E tier. There we go. That's what I was talking about with E tier. Now, there's no reason to use this guy. This guy sucks. Volkov is not. Volk is much better. This guy has no purpose in being in this game other than just opening chests. But again, Volk can do that better, and also the fact that this guy can promote through story again. But the fact that this guy can promote through story and the guy is actually pretty good and actually important to the story. He's the assassin hired by Grail to kill him in case Grail ever went insane again after killing his wife. So there's no real reason for Soren to be here, and the main reason why he's here is because I want to grind out the supports with Astrid to see what the guy that shipped them saw in them, and I think it's actually I saw the vision. So. Yeah, he's useless, but I ended up using him only for the Astrid supports, and honestly, that did not disappoint, so... Yeah, but there we go. Here we have the only inhabitant of the E tier. So, yeah, and speaking of his girlfriend, straight up S tier. Like, no question about it. Absolutely incredible unit. She was helped by Paragon, the fact that she got a fuck ton of EXP straight away. But yeah, Astrid, absolutely fantastic unit. She could absolutely tank. She could dodge. Even when doing crits, she could basically like one round. By the end of the game, she could able to run down absolutely everything. And if she didn't, she was able to do like major damage. Yeah, Astrid, absolutely fantastic unit, and I should probably I need to enjoy this moment as much, and I need to enjoy this moment for as much as possible because Rain Dawn does nerf her a lot. So, yeah. It's a real shame that apparently they ended up nerfing her a lot because maybe who knows, maybe because I'm not gonna play that, because I'm gonna play that game in easy, maybe she ends up being good anyway, but who knows. Now Tanith, B tier. She's the second best unit. Honestly, not much to say here. The fact that Wind Edge, of course, was a really good weapon, but outside of that, not much to say here. I don't remember if I used any kind of bonus XP on her, but yeah. Actually, you know what? Like, I mean, she was doing it a little bit better than Jill was, but still, absolutely nowhere near levels of Marcia. But yeah, using Tanith was not a. I wasn't disappointed in using Tanith. So yeah. Of course, now Elincia, B tier. I mean, she did what she had to do, basically being the rally bot and staff on rally bot. I did like her enough, just because I did like her enough. Then ended up giving her level capping her with bonus XP. I mean, I had so many of them that it didn't matter. It's something that I would have done it anyway. Yeah. Sorry, Alicia, and she didn't even manage to score a kill, like a legit kill. But yeah, she only did. Her only use was really being a staff bot. So yeah, but what she did was pretty decent. So yeah, not much to say here. And I really hope she actually gets better in Radiant Dawn, but who knows. Now of course we got to Radiant Dawn, Awakening, and then Fates. Now for Fates, it's a little bit complicated to rank these guys because oh boy, I don't want to talk about the all this shit that happened, all the bullshit that happened to me when playing Fates. But yeah, of course we're gonna focus on the birthright stuff. And Corrin, A tier. She was actually pretty decent. All around, should be actually no. Should be B, but she's an A. She was actually really good. She was pretty good. But yeah, yeah, not much to say here. I ended up liking her. I mean, using her. I mean, she's the lore, so I have to use her. But yeah, I ended up enjoying her a lot. I ended up using her. I ended up enjoying using her a lot more than I expected. And then somebody could say that I ended up underusing her because I never used the Dragonstone. But honestly, she was doing enough damage as she was on her normal form, on her human form. So using Dragon form didn't exactly matter. But yeah, I ended up enjoying Corrin a lot. Jacob, honestly, I'm gonna put B tier because he was really good as an early Jigen, but by the time you know, people actually started getting pretty good, other people thinking good, he pretty much fell back to being a staff bot alongside Dwyer. I mean, Dwyer was a staff bot. Dwyer was always destined to be a staff bot. Even if I did promote it to the same class as Dad, but yeah. For the chapter in which Jacob, for the chapters in which it was really good, it was really good. But I ended up falling back to being a staff bot. So yeah. Now Felicia, around this, I could say exactly the same. Pretty much a staff bot that could actually hit hard when she could have, but a majority of her talents were just being healing and stuff. So yeah. Then we got Kaze, Silas, Mozu being a major disappointment because I really wanted her, but because I screwed up, I ended up ignoring her a bit too much. By the time I ignored too much, and by the time I actually decided to give her a shit about her again, it was too late. So I ended up dropping her, which yeah, it's a big shame. And now Ryoma, to the surprise of nobody, S tier. The thing that made Birthright the quote-unquote easiest game in the franchise. Turns out it wasn't, but yeah, Ryoma was really good. I mean, everybody knows just how fucking good Ryoma is. And even though she almost got blasted by Garnet. Oh fuck, what's his name again? the name of the bad guy of Fates. Oh god, this actually should tell you just how memorable the Fate story is, because I can remember the fucking guy's name. Whatever. Did the final boss of the final boss of Fates. God, that's fucking depressing. But anyway, yeah, almost got killed by the final boss. But it's that tiny little hiccup. No, the guy was absolutely was absolutely unstoppable. So. Yeah, still did not make it Fates any easier, by the way, but yeah, let me check. All my time is being recording? Almost an hour recording. And yeah, we're almost done with the games, actually, yeah. But anyway, Takumi, A tier. Actually, no, A tier. Of course, being a royal, that made him already pretty good on his own right. And yeah, just like everybody unit, he ended up being suffering a lot of the Fates nonsense that I've experienced with the playthrough, but in all fairness, of the archers that I had, he was... well, there's also Kagero over here, I promoted Kagero, but I think he was... I don't know if I want to give him an edge, because I had Kagero for much more longer, but... you know what, screw it. I just put Kagero and Takumi in the same tier. I mean, I ended up enjoying them both, and both ended up getting the same amount of bad luck. So, yeah. And of course, none of them were as bad as fucking Setsun over here. Like, good fucking Christ. But, yeah. Takumi is a pretty solid unit. And, for Sakura, honestly, I kind of wanted to A tier because, yeah, he was a healer, but because I already had Jacob and Dwyer being staff bots, being the major of the healer, I decided to put her a little bit into more like an offensive role, while still being healers. And honestly, I was surprised by just how good she was. Not as surprising as other guys we're actually going to mention. Hi Ayato. But yeah, she did what she had to do, and she did a little bit more than I anticipated. So yeah, she goes to A tier. Kagero, S tier. Actually, no, I said A tier because I said Kagero and Takumi were exactly the same. Actually, I want to say that Kagero did a little bit better than Takumi, but maybe S tier is a little bit too much. But let's just shift into A tier. But yeah, Kagero was already a pretty good unit before promotion. Then I decided to the point that I ended up just dropping size over her. Okay, true. Kagero is okay, sure, waifu emblem, but still, I stuck with Kaze a little bit more than I probably anticipated. Stuck Kaze a little bit more than anticipated, but then I just dropped them and stuck with Kagero. And yeah, I wasn't disappointed in the slightest. She was already a pretty good ninja by the time I actually turned into whatever class she mechanist, I think it was. I don't remember. But by the time she got access to bows, yeah, she was absolutely killing it. So yeah, Oboro, B tier. I'm gonna actually. She did good enough. I don't want to say that she did more than actually good enough to actually get here. I'll just put in B tier and say that she was a pretty solid unit. And yeah, not much to say here. Of course, the support with Takumi was actually a pretty decent one, but yeah, Oboro. I'll be honest here, Oboro, I want to use Oboro because I was influenced by Warriors, and let's just say she did a little, maybe I want to say that she did a little bit worse than I was anticipating, but not enough to actually drop into C tier. So yeah, Oboro is gonna be B tier. Hana, let's okay, Hana. Do I really want to put into A tier? I mean, okay, she was. You know what? Let's just put into B tier because, if I remember correctly, like the first phases of Birthright were pretty rough for her. She took a little while to get going, but by the time she actually got going, she was actually pretty solid. Granted, when she wasn't getting absolutely fucking annihilated, but then again, everybody was. Like everybody never got annihilated at one point or another. So. Yeah, but yeah, Hana did a pretty solid job all in all. But yeah, not much to say here. Ayato, A tier, and this guy was a major surprise because yes, I did see the waifu video the mecha made, and said that only one class is useful for Ayato, and I decided to completely ignore him. I promoted to another class, and he was actually shockingly better than I thought. Like, and of course, this goes my throat getting ruined because I'm talking too much. But yeah, this guy ended up being much better than a bigger surprise than anticipated, and. Yeah, I'm honestly shocked by just good he ended up being. Like, seriously. and I'm going to say the same thing for Orochi. Now, I'll be honest, I never heard much about Orochi, like if she's a good unit or a bad unit, and that gave me more let's just say that gave me more reasons to try her out, and I'm going to say she wasn't all that bad. Actually, no, let's just put it to B tier, yeah. Because Hayato was a big surprise, Sapporo was. I came completely in the unknown for her, so I didn't know any previous opinions on her. But yeah, she was. But yeah, what she did, she did pretty good. So yeah, not much to say here. And now everybody's favorite Sako wife in Reina, and I'm gonna put into B tier. Of course. Actually, you know what? No, I want to put an A tier. I'm just gonna B tier because she didn't do as much as good as like Kagura did, but she did enough to actually be pretty decent overall. Of course, probably would have been a little bit better if Fates didn't make her dodge all the time and make her miss all the time. But yeah, when she wasn't dodging, she was actually doing a really decent job. If she wasn't killing people outright, she was actually doing like major damage. So yeah, not much to say here. And that concludes all the. Oh no! Wait! I forgot about I forgot the children. Okay, Kana, A tier, and this guy's actually a surprise. Not because, and honestly, when after I recruited him, after doing the paralog that unlocked him, I was so fucking mad about what happened to the chapter that I said, this little shit better be good. And I asked around, and it turns out that basically he's around the levels of Korin, so not great. And that got me scared a little bit, but I still tried to go for anyway. And yeah, he was actually really surprisingly good. So yeah, I mean, Fate's Birthright was basically an exercise in how to find out the end of the lies. But yeah, Kana was a really good surprise, and thus he deserves A tier. Dwyer, B tier. He's a staff bot. Not much to say here. Kiragi, also B tier. He was a lot worse than his dad was, but did more than enough to avoid getting shot into C tier. But yeah, I wish he actually did a little bit more. But actually, you know what? No, C tier is like the ones that were a bit of a disappointment, and Kiragi was not a disappointment because again, I also wasn't. I didn't hear any many opinions on Kiragi, so I was going with him completely blind. So yeah. So yeah, that's all the children covered up. The children I cared about covered up. And now, let's go straight to Engage. And Alir, A tier, not surprises there. There were chapters in which there were chapters that actually, hold on a minute, before I do anything, I need to check one thing. Does it have shadow characters? Oh no, no, this does have shadow characters. Okay, it even has Tier Ring Saga characters. Ring Saga, even Berwick Saga, okay, Berwick Saga characters, okay. This one, the written down version of the characters, and these are the new mystery version of the characters. So yeah, it does have Tier Ring Saga and Berwick Saga. There's warriors, it took him Mirage Sessions, and even fucking War in Shadows. So yeah, so this does include all the characters, and okay, that's a lot more than I thought. Even last character is Olympia, so yeah. But yeah. Anyway, okay, back to fuck's sake. Come on, okay. Back to Engage. Earlier, A tier. Actually, she actually gets somewhat close to S tier because she was doing really good, but around the mid part of the game, she was starting getting a lot less kills because, of course, everybody else was much more faster than Alira was. But regardless, she was pretty good. Anyway, for Fram, I'm gonna put it into S tier because me using her was kind of a mistake. Because when I was playing Engage, I asked around what class should I give Fram, and there was one guy that said, and there was one, and a guy that I know said, "Oh, make Fram like a Mage Knight, like that's their best class." But I couldn't promote it to Mage Knight. Ended up promoting it to Martial Artist, and little lady was actually like one running wyverns with her fist. That should tell you enough. But just how amazing this little girl was when I ended up promoting her as a martial artist. And again, that was a complete accident. People told me to not bother with that, just make her a mage knight, and then make her a martial artist, and she ended up being like an incredibly good character. So yeah, no surprise. So absolutely no surprises there. No, that was a really big surprise actually. So yeah. Then we got everybody else. Then we got Chloe, S tier, and if you watch the playthrough, you know exactly why. This one basically became like a complete unstoppable war machine. She could dodge, she could hit, she could crit, she could even tank hits from archers. Yeah, this woman. But the moment I promoted into Griffin Knight, she was just like galaxies over the rest of the units, the rest of the other characters. So yeah, Chloe absolutely S tier. Jean, actually no, I'm not gonna use Do I want to ask Jean? I mean, he's a healer, so he's gonna be in B tier anyway. But I didn't use him enough to actually, you know, care, considering that I ended up using Fran anyway. You know what? No, I'm not gonna put Jean, but I'm gonna put Alchrist, and he also goes to S tier. Other two archers that I had, him and Fogado, he was absolutely the better one. The moment he got the Brave Bow, yeah, he became pretty much an unstoppable killing machine. So yeah, of course with the lane ring, he became absolutely impossible to stop. So yeah, Alchrist S tier. Lapis, I'm gonna give it 8. Honestly, I'm gonna give it S tier to Lapis, although she's very close to being A tier because yeah, she died a little bit too much, but yeah, of course, this was also a I got influenced by I think it was FEMS Paint that made a whole video saying why you shouldn't sleep on Lapis, because probably people will just focus on, if they have to use a Sword Master, they'll focus on Kagetsu, but I still go for Lapis, and lo and behold, I was not disappointed. The moment I ended up giving her a Wall Down, I think I gave her like a Wall Down +3 and the Core Engraving, which does increase critical hits, and this woman could not just stop critting. Like, good fucking god, she was incredible. The only of course downside is the fact that more often than not she was the first to die, and which thank god actually had casual mode on. But yeah, outside of that, Lapis, absolutely incredible unit, and yeah, I am very glad that I'm picking her instead of Kagetsu. Citrine, she goes to A tier because just how big of a surprise she was. Because if you remember, I ended up picking Citrine relatively late in the playthrough, and I thought, oh, oh, this is gonna be Lady Profit. She's gonna amount to absolutely anything. She's gonna be too weak to do any major damage. But you know what? Let's just give it a shot because I actually like her design. And not only she ended up and she immediately became one of my best units. So yeah, not good enough to actually get into S tier, but quick enough to actually get herself solid to A tier. So yeah, not much to say here. Citrine was absolutely was a late pick that absolutely ended up working. The same thing cannot be said for Yunaka over here. Like I tried her like promoting her late in the game, but by this point she was just too far gone to actually be of any kind of use. So I ended up dropping her anyway. And I think I reclassed her back as a thief and ended up wasting like a secondary seal, a master seal, and not a secondary seal. But yeah, she was not great. Diamant, A tier for Diamant. Yeah, he was actually really good, like even better than I expected. Because honestly, I thought that this guy was probably going to be probably not gonna be all that great, at least decent, but not all that great. But yeah, the moment I gave him the Ike Ring, this guy just became absolutely fantastic to use. I want to say critical hits because yes, I did say about Lapis doing critical at the time, but all these guys actually were doing like critical hits relatively often. So yeah, critical hits is not exactly that big of a critical hits. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah, instead of that, Diamant was really fun unit to use, and yeah, not much to say here. Now what's next? Jade. Honestly, I'm gonna go into C tier because now she was a major disappointment, but I can't be honest here. I pretty much kept her around just because she had the leaf ring, which I'm aware it's like one of the worst rings in the game. But I kept her around because at least she had because I had the thing of, oh, I'm gonna give people like the ring and feel them pure because of that. And Jade, I mean, Jade was decent, but the problem is that, yeah, she was way too slow. I mean, she's an armor knight, so of course she was gonna be slow, but she was a bit too slow for my tastes, and yeah, she rarely saw combat. When she did saw combat, she was decent, but yeah, not the best. But yeah, again, a lot of people say, a lot of people are going to say, what the fuck do you expect from an armor knight? I know, but I expect a little bit more. But yeah, Ivy, A tier, really solid unit. Not much to say here. The Ivy, I don't remember which ring I gave her. I don't think I gave her. Oh god, what ring did I give her? The Kaya one? I actually don't remember, but yeah, Ivy, really solid unit. Spoiler, nowhere near as powerful, not really as good as her sister was, but yeah, Ivy, really good unit. And honestly, outside of one rough patch in the Tiki paralog, yeah, she was actually doing a very good job. She was also really dodgy, and she would also hit like very hard. But yeah, really happy with how Ivy turned out. And then we got Fogado. And as I stated, he was the worst of the archers, but despite that, he was still decent enough to actually get himself into A tier. And of course, the fact that the guy was mounted also did help a lot. But yeah, not much to say here. Fogado was a really solid unit, but Alcris was way better. As for his sister Tamara, a lot of people actually don't like her because of Sandstorm being random. But no, honestly, I actually ended up liking her a lot. I mean, she ended up being like one of my part of my final army. She ended up using her, and now propping up Sandstorm wasn't a big of a problem as a lot of people said it was. Also because I'm pretty sure there are times in which Sandstorm did in fact help, but in all fairness, Tamara was actually doing a pretty solid job at. Actually, you know what? Never mind, I'll put it into B tier because now remember, I mean, she did a pretty solid job, but nowhere near a good enough job to actually get into A tier, but solid enough anyway. But yeah, Of course, they did come in clutch with the Tiki emblem, with the Tiki bracelet. But yeah, okay, 1 hour and 10 seconds we're recording. We're almost done. But yeah, Tamara, really, really decent unit. Amber. I mean, Amber Palmer is the name that I gave Marin for the All-Star. She's A tier. Now, I'm aware that she's a really trash unit, and she's actually not the great of a unit, and the reason why she ended up being so good in my playthrough is because she was carried by the Erica ring. But aside of that, but I don't care. Like, even if she was helped by the Erica ring, I really don't care. She actually was a much better unit than I thought. She was like my original, she was my go-to dodge tank, actually. So dodge tank, and yeah, she was really solid. Even and she was really solid. So not much to say here. Hortensia, S tier. Like, a lot of people would just relegate her to being a staff bot. I gave her a bunch of stab boosters and a bunch of offensive, and a bunch of tomes, and this little girl just could not stop killing. Like, oh god, like this little girl was an absolute menace. Like, good Christ Almighty, she was so good. It was actually illegal. Like, seriously. The amount of times this little girl dodged like would have been fatal archer attacks is nuts. This little girl was absolutely fantastic. Like, nothing else to say. Just an incredible unit. And also, I ended up winning I proved to the world that yes, she can be viable in combat. She's not gonna be just a staff bot. So there we go. Anyway, so final and no, almost a couple of chapters. Gold Mary. Let's just give a B tier. Now, it's weird to say that I since I actually like Gold Mary a lot. Or like her supposed to like fucking hysterical. But she did enough to she didn't enough to actually get A tier, but she did more enough to, you know, not be completely overblown or like just drop into C tier. But yeah, I ended up using her a lot less than I probably would have wanted. When I used her, she was good, but I ended up using her a lot less because I had much better units around her. But still, I wasn't all. In all fairness, I am not too disappointed in using Gold Mary. That was a voice crack again. If anything, this fucking guy was a major disappointment. Like, good lord, his joint chapter was the only chapter. His joint chapter, which is also joint chapter of Gold Mary, was the only chapter that ended up using this little fucker. Like, yeah, never again. Now Veil. Veil's B tier. Veil was B tier. Not much to say here. I actually think I ended up batching her. I don't remember if I did. But yeah, pretty decent unit. Not much to say here. Of course, the little fact of she's not been around. Her availability was her screen time / availability was very poor on her part. But yeah, she's somewhat solid. Actually, you know what? Let's put into C tier because, yeah, being involved in very short little time. I don't think I actually ended up ever fielding her for the fallacy log, come to think of it. But yeah, if she was available for a little more time, maybe I could have gone at least to B tier. But no, she goes to C tier. Not because she was a disappointment, because I had her for very little. Now, of course, there's Nell, Raphael, Zalesia, Gregory, Madeline. But the thing is, I don't have much of a sample to actually rate these guys. So I think I'm just going to rate Nell, and she was A tier. Not surprised there. She's actually the better of the two Fel dragons, of the two Fel Zenlok dragons. So not surprised here. And now, and this guy, D tier. Actually, no, it's like E tier because, yeah, this guy's just completely useless. Yeah, he had plot relevance in the Fellows Analog, but yeah, when he was actually an ally, he could do very little. And apparently that's exactly the same in gameplay. Like Nell is actually the better one of the fellow dragons. This guy's just not good. So yeah. Of course, you got the emblems, which I'm not gonna rate them because spoilers. Of course, they were not units. Zombie, I'm putting this little guy into S tier. I don't give a shit. But yeah, of course, the Fortune Wheels characters, the Sakura Station characters. And as I stated, I'm not gonna put Liana anywhere because I don't know where to put it. So yeah, and this is the tier list. So I'm gonna pin this. And to quickly recap, in S tier we got Norn, Seth, Vanessa, Mir, Titania, Mia, Marcia, Astrid, Ryoma, Fram, Chloe, Alchrist, Lapis, Hortensia, and the Sami. On A tier we got Marth, Abel, Sita, Lena, Marek, Athena, Linde, Katria, Erika, Naomi, Lute, Ephraim, Tana, Marisa, Ines, Ike, Female Koran, Takumi, Sakura, Kaguro, Hayato, Kana, Alir, Citrine, Diamant, Ivy, Fagato, Amber, Nell. On B tier we got Kane, Maria, Est, Natasha, Ford, La Rochelle, Cyrene, Reese, Eliana, Mist, Jill, Tanith, Elincia, Jacob, Felicia, Oboro, Hana, Orochi, Reina, Dwyer, Kiragi, Timera, Goldmary. On C tier we got Media, Pala, Jade, and the Veil. On D tier we got Maria and Minerva, and on E tier we got Sophan and Rathal. So yeah, this is my tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and well, that being said, see you next video, folks.